Hey everybody, here's your Cleveland update. Check it out. If you notice, there's no crank in her. Let's take a walk around. So I just spent the last, I don't know, hour or two, maybe 2 hours here just disassembling the engine here. If anybody remembers from previous videos, this engine was built a long time ago and it was assembled and then it got stored. So it got wet and different things. So we are reviving it. It is ready to go. Just disassembled it, so it's ready to go to the machine shop. Gonna make a couple changes because my plans have changed on it. So let's go over a few things here. So here's the crankshaft. You can see she almost survived. It got a little moisture in between the bearings. And then until you come down to the bottom main journal, ugh, she's kind of rusty in there. So that's definitely gonna have to be cleaned up. Hopefully it's not deep and it can just be polished out. Worst case scenario, I get it turned some more and get some different bearings. No big deal. Supposedly this was a shot-peened crank. I bought it from some old drag racer. Supposedly he used it in some cars and stuff, so it should be well seasoned. If it can handle up to his abuse, then mine should be okay. I don't know how to tell if it has been shot-peened or not, besides looking for little dimples and whatnot, but just going off of what he told me, I don't know if it's true or not. Here's that rear journal that got all rusty. I'm gonna end up buying new bearings for it because a couple of them got a little messed up. You can see I had 4-bolt mains installed on this block. Those are factory 4-bolt mains that I had machined to fit the block. It's got studs, ARP studs all the way through. Cylinders actually look pretty good. There's some surface rust near the bottoms, which I'm thinking should clear out. And a lot of it's not even rust, like what you see right there is just old oil that's actually dried up basically and turned into kind of a varnish or whatever it does. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think the cylinders will be fine. And this has already done 30 over if I remember right. Most likely. So those should be pretty good. I think the block will clean up nice. And here's where the big money's at. Those are Ross Racing pistons. Good for, it was something like 13-to-1 compression on this motor with the heads I have. The closed chamber 4-barrel heads. Those are Eagle H-beam rods, I believe. Whatever the expensive good ones are. They are pretty nice pieces of metal. I end up buying new bearings for all those too. I think I'm going to change these pistons out. I'm going to go for something a little more manageable. Probably going to do the 9.5 to 10-to-1 compression, just flat tops. Let me show you what these look like. You see these things have a pretty gnarly dome on them. Those things are wicked. So I'll get the flat tops that have the valve reliefs in them and all that good stuff. I won't skimp on them. I'll get another decent set. That's a pretty expensive set right there, though, between those rods and pistons. Those are also the, what are they, Total Seal gapless rings. So those weren't cheap either. But yeah. And the heads are buried in there. I'm not going to pull those out. They're just buried in storage. Got them all sealed up. They're pretty rusty, too. They've got big old fancy stainless steel valves in them with gigantic valve springs for the cam I got. I got a big old roller cam. I had to look it up the other day to see what it was. It was a Crower solid roller. It's got 640 lift, I think. 620 to 640 lift. It's a split. And then the duration, total duration was 292, something like that. Yeah, it was 292 and like 282 or something like that. So very big cam. I'm very anxious to hear that. That thing's gonna sound nasty. So there's your Cleveland update. I got a machine shop lined up. I can't remember what it's called. Performance something or other performance up here in Washington here. It's one that my roommate Hovig has used for, I don't think I've made any videos of it yet, but he's got a 455 Buick over here that's all assembled and looking real good. So the machinist, did really good work, so I'm going to go with him. I'll take it in there, just tell him I need to get it all cleaned up, and do absolutely anything he needs to do to make it right. Because there were some things on the old machinist I wasn't too sure about. The balancing for one. Kind of did a lot of add weight here, drill some big holes over there, so I'm going to have him double check the balancing. And then, if I remember right, when I installed the crankshaft, torqued all the mains down, the crank didn't want to turn very free. It almost maybe it binded a little bit, so I'm going to have him double check all that stuff too. So, but basically I'm going to have him just go over it like it's a brand new old engine that I need rebuilt.